Hey, what's up everybody? It's the Crypto Ginger here. So let's quickly talk Bakkt, because if you haven't already heard the news, Bakkt should be launching their physically settled Bitcoin futures very soon. Now, how soon, you might be asking? Well, we'll get into that in just a second here. What I want to do is start off with this tweet posted by XRP Crypto Wolf, where he states that ICE Markets CEO Jeffrey Spetcher said that in an earnings call that Bakkt will launch its physically settled Bitcoin futures soon. Of course, he also quotes that Bakkt is working to develop a regulated ecosystem that services the evolving needs of participants around the world. Now, of course, here is the linked article. This is coming from CoinDesk, and again, in this article, it's just really mentioning that from the CEO of ICE, his standpoint, he really just says that it will be launching soon. So, interesting enough, I believe earlier today on Squawk Box, we actually heard from Mike Novogratz, who is specifying a little bit more of a particular time frame. As a matter of fact, the information was posted here by I Am Legion. Definitely give him a follow as well. Now, he is linking this information from somebody that posted it earlier today from Chasm Capital, where we see another link here, but really, again, it's just all based off of Squawk Box from CNBC, talking more in basically all about Bakkt and what was going to happen with Bakkt. And of course, what he says here is as far as a time frame more narrowed down, that it will be going live in 6 weeks. So guys, this right here is very big, and of course in 6 weeks that puts us roughly around, I believe, the middle of September. We're very close to that. So interesting enough to hear that in 6 weeks we're going to actually start seeing the Bitcoin futures taking place there. And of course, a lot of you guys might be thinking as well, Ledger X is already in the process of doing that. Well, that's interesting, because I found something earlier today as well, and this has the information basically stating that the CFTC did not yet open Ledger X physically settled Bitcoin futures. And of course, it gives you a link to Cointelegraph's article here going over this information. And as you can see, allegedly it was a fake CFTC approval announcement. And as Cointelegraph reported yesterday, LedgerX said that in an announcement on July 31st that its physical futures offerings was live on Omni trading platform. However, the latest confirmation from the CFTC suggests that this could not have occurred. Derivatives specialist Thomas G. Thompson, what a name, pointed out on Twitter that the CFTC does not show any futures contracts certified by the firm. He concludes that LedgerX may have indeed just launched their existing swaps on their new futures platform. Nevertheless, he concluded, still very important development, because now retail can trade Bitcoin options and swaps. So I think at best, guys, what we can take away from this is that LedgerX did not launch their Bitcoin futures according to this particular Twitter post in regards to the CFTC and them actually at least having no verification of this. So it at least, it lets you know that they haven't been launched, but it does open it up as far as retail being able to trade Bitcoin options and swaps, though, on LedgerX. Now, with that being said, again, we can kind of revert back to the idea that Bakkt will be launching in 6 weeks, according to Mike Novogratz. Now, Mike Novogratz is most certainly someone who has been in this industry for quite some time, has a very good understanding as to what's taking place. If he says it's going to be launching in 6 weeks, he probably knows something that we don't know, so we definitely have to keep that in mind, guys. But I just wanted to point this out, guys, and of course, one last thing I wanted to quickly go over as well. So this last bit here I found very interesting. I just wanted to relay it to you guys and get your take on this. Now, before I go too far, I want to set the stage for those who might be new to all this information here and don't have a firm understanding of the escrowed wallets that Ripple put away. But back on December 7th of 2017, Ripple came out and stated that they had escrowed away 55 billion XRP for what they call supply predictability. Now, basically, you can get this information directly from Ripple's site, and what we need here is this particular part of this information where it explains these particular contracts. So it says, we use escrow to establish 55 contracts of 1 billion XRP each that will expire on the first day of every month from months 0 to 54. As each contract expires, the XRP will become available for Ripple's use. You can expect us to continue to use XRP for incentives to market makers who offer tighter spreads for payments and selling XRP to institutional purchasers. So basically, guys, what they can do here is they get a release of 1 billion XRP at the very beginning of each month. It expires, those contracts do, and they have the availability to make use of those XRP. Now, in most cases, from what I gather as well, whatever they don't utilize at the end of their particular month, they actually have that go back into a brand new escrowed wallet. So whatever's remaining of those XRP get thrown back into a new wallet at the back of the line there. But nonetheless, they have 1 billion XRP at the very beginning of each month released as far as these contracts expiring. Now, keeping that in mind, the very beginning of this month has already occurred, and of course there was a release of XRP. Now, someone in the XRP community caught wind of this and checked out this particular transfer, and attached to that was a memo that I want to show you guys. So here we have Ian Northing, who is definitely a follow in the XRP community, and today he posted, interesting, while anyone can put a memo on the payments, this came up on the escrow payment, and then I saw this. So basically, he takes a screenshot of the payment, that escrow payment, and what he sees is that there's a transaction that contains the following memos. And of course, guys, keep in mind that memos can actually be changed on these particular timestamps for these transfers. But what was actually specified here was very interesting when it comes to the data, and it says here that it was a format of plain text, and below that data says, remember 8.15 Liberation Day of Korea. And of course, it does specify it was coming from BitHomp, so I'm not exactly sure if someone was able to go through that and change this information for the data, but it is very intriguing. Of course, he then finds the actual transaction detail, and what we can see here is it explains the 1 billion XRP being released. The escrow owner is Ripple, the receiver is Ripple, but the initiated by Bill Clinton's secret. Interesting. Of course, here it is, the memo. Remember 8.15 Liberation Day of Korea. So, guys, I'm not exactly sure what this means here. I've tried to look up a little bit of information relative to this, and of course, relative to Liberation Day of Korea. I believe that is something that does fall on August 15th. I believe Ian Northern has also looked up quite a bit of information. I don't want to spoil it for anyone. I want you guys to follow him and then go through some of the rabbit hole there if you feel intrigued enough to do so. Again, I just wanted your guys' comment on this because I found it very interesting when it comes to, again, Ripple releasing this escrow. They are the receiver of it, and there is initiated by Bill Clinton's secret. What does that mean? And of course, what does the memo attached to it mean? Again, what it says, remember 8.15 Liberation Day of Korea. So let me know what you guys think of that information, guys, and keep in mind, again, Bakkt is going to be launching in 6 weeks. So fingers crossed that that actually maintains, and of course, fingers crossed that we get some positive news for some Bitcoin futures for Ledger X. So outside of that, guys, thanks again for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day, and if you're new to this channel, please hit the like and subscribe button. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.